What happens when a successful businessman decides to investigate what's going on behind the scenes of his company and uncovers a scheme that threatens not only his business, but also people's lives? We delve into the story of Jack Harris, the owner of a motorcycle company, and how his undercover investigation changed not only his business, but also his view of leadership. Jack Harris began his journey by fixing motorcycles in his garage before eventually founding his own company, Iron Horse Motorcycles. Over 10 years of hard work, he built a business that became one of the most respected motorcycle manufacturers in the United States. His company's products were known for their quality, safety, and reliability. Iron Horse Motorcycles became a symbol of prestige and freedom. As time passed, the company expanded, opening new shops and increasing production. However, Jack soon realized that he was finding it increasingly difficult to control quality at every stage. While profits continued to grow, something had shifted in his relationships with customers and partners. Complaints began to surface, and trust in the brand began to erode. Production reports showed excellent financial results, but one detail began to worry Jack. A flood of customer feedback pointed to quality issues. The bike breaks down after a couple of weeks, poor assembly, unreliable components. Jack asked his team to conduct an internal review, but everything appeared normal. The staff assured him that these were just isolated incidents. However, the deeper Jack investigated, clearer it became. The problem wasn't limited to rare defects. He decided to take action. Rather than simply relying on reports, Jack chose to uncover the truth by going undercover at the plant as an ordinary mechanic. He hoped this would give him a first-hand understanding of what was really happening on the production line and, perhaps, help him pinpoint the cause of the deteriorating quality. Jack became part of the team. He was issued a standard uniform and got to work. As he assembled the motorcycles, he began noticing some strange things. First, the quality of the parts used in assembly had noticeably changed. The metal that had once been strong and reliable now seemed cheap and brittle. The plastic components started to crack, and the assembly process, while faster than before, had lost the attention to detail it had once had. Jack also noticed that many of the parts came from unknown suppliers. Some looked obviously counterfeit, while others didn't meet the high standards he had once set for his brand. Jack quickly realized that the problem was far deeper than he had anticipated. At the heart of it all was Kevin O'Sullivan, the deputy director of operations. Jack had known him as a reliable employee, but now he was witnessing how Kevin, along with a few other workers, had begun deliberately cutting corners by ordering cheap knockoff parts to maximize profits. Instead of high-quality metal, low-grade Chinese materials were being used, and instead of trusted suppliers, parts were being sourced from dubious, untested firms. Jack was horrified to realize that these actions were not only undermining his company's reputation, but also putting his customers' safety at risk. One day, while working a shift alongside O'Sullivan, Jack overheard a conversation between him and one of the supply managers. They were discussing how to continue purchasing cheap knockoffs to cut costs and increase profits. At that moment, Jack realized that his business was in jeopardy. But the threat wasn't just financial. People's lives were at risk from the substandard parts being used in the motorcycles that had once been the pride of his company. That conversation was the final straw for Jack. The next day, Jack made his final decision. He gathered his team and called an emergency meeting. Taking off his disguise and revealing his true identity, he laid the truth bare for everyone. The entire plant was stunned when Jack announced that he wasn't just a mechanic, but the owner of the company who had come to uncover what was really going on the production line. Shocked employees listened intently as Jack explained what he had discovered and how the principles of quality and safety on which his business was built were being violated. "I came here to see what's really going on because the reports don't show the whole picture," Not only are we undermining our business, but we are jeopardizing the lives of people who trust us with their safety. We can't let that happen, Jack said. The team was in shock, but most of the employees supported his decision, realizing that his actions were aimed at preserving the integrity and reputation of the company. After that, Jack decided to take action. He fired Kevin O'Sullivan, despite his years of service to the company. It was a difficult decision, but one that Jack knew was necessary to protect the business's reputation and customer safety. He then initiated a complete review of all supplies and processes at the plant. The entire supply chain was revamped, and only trusted suppliers, who met high-quality standards, began working with the new management team. Jack ensured that every component of the motorcycles now adhered to the stringent requirements that had once been the foundation of his business. One of the toughest decisions Jack made was to implement new financial standards. In order to restore the company's reputation, he was willing to sacrifice short-term profits. He began purchasing only the highest quality materials, which inevitably increased costs. However, Jack was confident that in the long term, this would not only improve the company's financial standing, but also restore customer confidence, ensure product safety, and solidify the company's market leadership. The transition wasn't easy. In the first 3 months, profits dropped by 25%, and demand for products slightly declined due to the price increases. Shareholders began demanding answers, questioning the decline in profitability, but Jack stood firm. "We're doing the right thing, and profits will return once customers trust us again." It was a difficult challenge for many, but Jack was certain that if the company didn't rebuild its reputation, it would simply fade from the market. He knew that ultimately, a strong reputation is what makes a business successful, and without it, no amount of financial performance could guarantee long-term prosperity. Over the next 6 months, after the overhaul of all processes, Iron Horse Motorcycles regained its position in the market. The products were once again recognized not only for their prestige, but also for their safety. Customers began trusting the company's motorcycles again, and despite price increases, demand continued to rise. Additionally, the company began to increase profits due to a significant reduction in maintenance costs. The use of high-quality parts led to fewer breakdowns and fewer warranty claims. Jack's decision proved correct. Quality improvements not only enhanced the company's image, but also helped put it back on a more stable financial path. A year later, the company had returned to profitability, and Iron Horse Motorcycles' reputation was stronger than ever. The company had regained its customers' trust, and this success stood as a shining example that true and sustainable success is only possible through honesty, high standards, and genuine concern for the people who believe in your product. Jack increasingly realizes that it was that decisive undercover inspection that became the turning point that saved his company. He is certain of one thing: the company didn't just sell motorcycles, it sold trust. And that trust became its greatest asset and the foundation for long-term success. Today, Jack continues to do everything in his power to ensure that his company remains the market leader. He regularly visits the factory to ensure that employees continue to uphold the high standards he established. And while the business is thriving once again, Jack holds on to one crucial truth: a successful business is not built on profit alone, but on responsibility, integrity, and strong principles. So, friends, here's the story of how an undercover inspection saved the company, and how it was proven in practice that even in the most difficult situations, honesty and attention to detail always lead to success. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about how ordinary people overcome challenges and create something extraordinary, subscribe to our channel. Your journey is just beginning.